Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield. All my books will appear. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I've got a great show, and I'm entitling it, You Can't Fix Yourself by Breaking Someone Else. It's a tough love show yet again. I tried to find a happy one, but I hadn't written one yet. So we're going to go with this one today because I believe the truth here is something many of you need to hear, listen to, and then take action on. All right, I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned. I'll come right back after the break. You can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. I don't know about you, but I often hear the phrase that life is precious and we need to be careful with our words, our actions, and our attitude. And I wholeheartedly agree with that statement, and I believe it to be true. I think we all need to follow the wisdom of the words. But what I find so disappointing in watching others is the bizarre attitude of some people who believe that by tearing others down, they're building themselves up. Sorry, Charlie, it doesn't work that way because you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. It's just not possible. In fact, it's more dangerous than you'll ever know as you go down the road. Now, I know I'm not speaking to the good folks who are listening or reading this today. Still, many of you are friends, acquaintances, partners, or family members with some who are so bitter, nasty, angry, hateful, that they waste their lifetime tearing down those around them in hopes of lifting up their own status in life. I have to say, to those who are so damaged, you don't get far in life by standing on the broken bones of others. And frankly, let's just be honest, you look pretty stupid being that king of that hill. Suppose you're in a relationship where your friend, partner, family member, or significant other spends time tearing at the fabric of your life. In that case, you, my friend, hear me, walk away. Because if you believe that life is precious, then you must learn to value your short life on this earth and value yourself enough to block the negativity of those who heap anger on you and others. They're damaged, and you can't fix them, nor should you try, when they have stooped so low to find their self-worth and tearing you down. So let me give you 3 reasons why having this negative attitude around you will do a lifetime of damage. All right, Deb's rules, because I want you to live an amazing life. So rule number 1, if you allow someone to verbally pick at you, over time, you will, believe it or not, begin to believe that what they say is true. Oh, today you say, oh, they're a nut, and you think it won't bother you. But over time, you will begin to question yourself when some other issues arise. You can't figure out what direction to go when the questions are asked and you don't know the answer, or really when the conversation started and you've got nothing to add. They're nagging, snarky comments that they snidely say to tear you down, to build themselves up, will start to seep into your subconscious, and then, over time, you'll begin to believe the negative talk because that's all you hear. Friends, you've got to guard your heart, your mind, and your soul against the hurtful words that others use against you because they're not true. And they're meant to tear you and others down to build the other person up in your eyes and theirs, which really is a slippery slope since in the end, everyone's damaged. It's that point that I hurt for you and everyone I see this happen to, whether in business, speaking, or in politics. Since you never started out with a current thought of your now perceived limited ability, you've been lied to so much that you now believe it. See, the constant tearing down has now become the norm, so you don't hear it as anything unusual. However, friend, this tearing down is slowly killing your spirit until one day you're just an empty shell of the vibrant, loving, kind person you used to be. I see this with most married couples where one of them thought they could love or push or force the other enough to grow them to maturity, but it didn't work. And over time, they've grown hollow in their lives. Due to the perceived social norms of their fancy neighborhoods, they live as lonely people, certainly not what they had planned when they started. But here we are years later, wondering if being single would be as painful as being together. You know, it happens slowly. And then over time, it's hard to remember when this verbal abuse didn't occur. Yes, I call it verbal abuse because no one should have to listen to another person be so unkind as to cause wounds that do not heal over time by constantly being kept raw and hurting. Like it or not, I am well known for saying, walk away if at all possible and save yourself. If for some unknown reason you choose to stay, then have the courage to force the conversation back to an equal setting where no words of unkindness are tolerated or allowed. Friends, you've got to be strong in your resolve. Since it's become a habit, your opponent can change for a day or two, but not much more. And if you draw a line in the sand, so to speak, and allow them to cross it more than once, well, you've given in and you've lost the battle. Ideally, you should never allow your kids, your friends, your spouse, your boss, or anyone else to verbally pick at you. Because the old saying is true. There's always a little truth behind, hey, I'm just kidding. A little curiosity behind, I'm just wondering. And a little knowledge behind every, I don't know. And a little emotion behind, I don't care. Today's the day that you understand the truth that no one can fix themselves by breaking someone else. It's not true today, nor has it ever been true. It is a lie that does a lifetime of damage. So another reason why you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else is so damaging is that when you allow others to talk that way towards you, you've allowed their venom to affect those you care about, whether it's your kids, your spouse, your family, or friends. If you accept the disrespect they are showing, you have now involved others. And friends, that's just not right. I don't like to see it when someone rips into you, and I really hate to see it when they turn from you and smart off to your spouse or kid or coworker who don't have a dog in the fight. All because you didn't shut them down when they crossed the line and being disrespectful towards you the first, second, or third time. When you allowed them to buy into the false notion that they can fix themselves by breaking you and everyone around you, you've done them a disservice. Now, you've got to go do the extra hard work to protect those around you who they verbally tear down. And since you allowed this rude, unkind, uncaring behavior to affect those you love, don't you dare run away from your responsibility. Do something about it. And the best thing you can do is to confront and demand a change of conversation, attitude, or actions. And just remember, you always need to take someone with you to be a witness. You do not do this alone. No one likes to be called out, and they will back up and say, you misunderstood me, or they were just joking, or how could you think they would be that way? But remember, zebras don't change their stripes, and leopards don't change their spots. Their actions speak for them. So keep calm, stand firm, and then walk away. I love the quote. How beautiful is it to stay silent when someone expects you to be enraged? I also love the line, when tempted to fight fire with fire, remember, the fire department uses water. Friend, I need you to understand, you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. Remember my first point, if you allow it, over time, you will believe the lie. My second point is if you don't stand up, you will allow them to hurt others. And my third point is this, when someone chooses to treat others with such disdain, you need to understand that they have lost a part of their heart. Hurting people hurt people. And I've heard it said that manipulative people do not understand the concept of boundaries. They are relentless in their pursuit of what they want, and they have no regard for who gets hurt along the way. Knowing this, you need to be on guard to keep yourself and those you love safely away from them. Because when someone thinks that by breaking others down, they can lift themselves up, that is the most self-delusional, backward thinking that cannot be repaired without a higher power to show them their ways and change their lives. You might ask me, hey Deb, how will I know who these people are or who they will become over time? Well, believe it or not, it's simple. Always listen to your heart. Because even though it's on the left side of your body, your heart is always right, and you'll just know. Remember, a healthy relationship doesn't drag you down. It inspires you to be better. Anyone who does not do that for you or your family or friends should not have a place in your life. And Deb doesn't care if they are family and friends and coworkers. Listen, I know today is hard. I know the last few lessons I've given are hard. And I don't mean to be harsh. Really, I don't. What I am is frustrated that so many good people are hurt and repeatedly hurt. Because either they don't have an understanding or they're just too weak to walk away. I need you to understand that, especially in today's world, that is very harsh, my friends. You've got to protect yourself. And if you agree that life is precious, I believe the time to start is now. Why? Because you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. And people who think they can are simply broken people. All right, I really did try to find a happier message that I had written, but you know what? This came into the next lineup, and I thought, there's a reason, so I'm just going to keep at it. Friends, you've been listening to Deb Sofield's encouragement for your amazing life, and I always want you to join me on a weekly basis, or you can listen to these podcasts every day of your life if you want. But I want you to understand that you have value. And you've got to protect that value. Because if you allow someone to tear you down, building back is very hard. And I hope you'll join me next week. We're going to continue this journey together as we work towards a better day. And remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I want you to know I care about you. And I care about you because I believe you can do big things, but that's not going to happen if you allow people to break you, tear you down, because they're trying to build their sad sack life. You're more valuable than they are. I want you to believe it. And here's my promise. I'm going to walk alongside you as we rebuild your foundation for a strong and prosperous life from today going forward. All right, friends, thanks for listening. Take care. Join me next week. Let's keep at it. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.